Okay, so we're back at the front of the car again. At this point, you can reinstall the intercooler. Remember, the intercooler, it's just 2 bolts. And I'll say this again, I'll just repeat it over and over because I think it's important. In the Haynes manual, the way that they've written it out in the Haynes manual, it makes you think that you have to pull the radiator out and everything else to remove the intercooler, but you don't have to actually do that. There's a shortcut way around it, and that shortcut is you remove the front crash bar in here, which is quite easy. It's just 4 on each side, and then that gives you access to the front, which is really good. This bolt is easy to get to. This one in here on this side, you can't get to it with a socket, but a good pair of pliers or multi-grips and you can remove it, and there you go, you can just remove the intercooler. And if you're one of those people that just like to take the intercooler out every now and then and sort of clean it up and give it a flush, that's really good because there's not many steps involved in the process. You don't have to go through the whole process of removing the radiator, removing the fan, removing the air conditioning system and everything else. So it's like a fast track way for those who just want to do the intercooler job. You can sort of cheat your way through it by doing this, and it's a bit of a shortcut. So all I've done here is basically I've put the intercooler back in, those 2 bolts, and I've reinstalled the cooler in here too, the oil cooler. So this will go back on, and on your car you won't have these 2 bolts in here because I broke it up in here. The way that it fits on your car is there'll be some ties on the other side that hold this down. The way that I've done it is actually, you might actually want to do this yourself because it makes things a lot quicker. All I've done is installed 2 bolts in the top here, and just a bit of angle that holds it into place. And the reason I do that because these plastic tires aren't very good at holding it down to begin with, so I've sort of come up with a better solution. Yeah, so with this modification that I've made in here, you're able to remove this off the car without, because this ties in from the back of the evaporator, and usually, so if you wanted to remove this, you would have to remove this entire system and it would take a lot more time. The way that I've done it here is, now if I want to remove this at all, there's no bushings at the back of this thing holding these plastic clips in place. All I have to do is remove these 2 bolts and then the whole thing pulls forward. So if you want to do this modification yourself, it's quite easy. All it is you just drill two holes in the top with some aluminium angle, and it's enough to hold it in place. And now once again, if you want quick access just to remove that or clean it, or clean the evaporator itself, it's sort of just a shortcut, so it's quite handy. So at this point we just install the front electric fans. Just remember it's four fasteners here that are rubber mounted, 1, 2, another 2, then those 3, 4, and just remember to position this oil cooler. There's a securing bolt in here, and there's some little little gussets or slots that the actual aluminium lines go straight into. Around here I use a cable tie to hold this in place because I broke it, but if you don't break it, it should just have a clip that fastens in there. But yeah, it's looking pretty good getting it back together. I know it looks sort of overwhelming, all the different lines and things, but the best thing about the air conditioning lines is they're already pre-formed, they're pre-bent, so they'll just basically they'll fall into place. You'll notice with my air conditioning lines, I've had the ends TIG welded shut, and the reason that these are both TIG welded closed is because they're for the rear air conditioning unit, which I've basically done a delete. I've just removed them, so they've just been welded shut, and so it doesn't bifurcate off and go to the back of the car now, where the rear air conditioning usually is located in the roof. It's just sealed off, and it just basically forms one pipe now. So we'll go back in and install all these. Some of these, the O-rings, you have to watch the O-rings and the yellow seals. It might be worth, even though I'm putting the hoses on now, it might be worth going through and actually putting brand new ones on before the system is recharged with refrigerant, just to be safe. So let's get into it. Down at the air conditioning compressor, you can see the two bolts where the outline and the inline is, and you can see the orange bolt where you can re-top the PAG oil. What I like about the AC lines is it's basically a no-brainer. They just line up to where they go, and as you can see here, I've already put the AC lines to where the condenser is at the front of the car. It should just line up basically where the lines go into the compressor, and then the hardest bit will be going down in here and just fitting up the last bits of the AC lines. But you should be able to figure this part out on your own, pretty simple. So we're back at this point again. You guys probably already know that this job's a pain in the arse. With the fan shroud, just quickly do a test fit first to see that you've got it in the right way, that all the tabs line up. You'll see there's 6 tabs there, 3 tabs on each side that need to line up. Just do a quick test fit with the shroud. It's pretty easy to dismount it once you've put it in there, but it's good to see. Just double check your work, make sure everything lines up. So this is how I literally position the fan to reinstall it. The best thing about that Allen key with the extra bar on there is you don't have to reach your hand in too much. After you've got the fan and the shroud installed, you can go ahead and do the belt tensioner. Again, you just need a long bar extension tool with a 17 millimeter socket on there. You probably figure out the last few things on your own, but I'll quickly talk through them anyway. So we've just got the top radiator hose that needs to go on, and basically the other fittings that go down alongside the radiator down in here, down in the top there, and we've got the overflow bottle that needs to be reinstalled. So these are pretty straightforward. There's remember, there's 2 lines from the overflow bottle and the electronic sensor the electronic sensor that goes in the overflow, if you can see that there in the video. So we'll reinstall the overflow bottle, and then remember we have to top up the radiator coolant, and then we need to bleed the air from the system also, because we've basically removed all the radiator coolant. There's air in the coolant, in the engine block, in the radiator, so we need to flush the air out and make sure it's airtight, watertight, and no air is in the system. So if you don't know what bleeding the radiator is, it might be worth looking that up also. Plenty of people make videos on that. Installing the overflow tank here, you can go ahead and refill the radiator with coolant. Remember, it's around 10 litres, and the next step is to reattach the intake pipe to the turbo intake. You can see it down in there, the hose clamp in orange, and remember it's a double gasket. It's got a sleeve on a rubber sleeve on the inside. You usually need to put a bit of oil or a bit of lubricant or something so it slips over the top of the turbocharger intake. We're just about ready to start the engine now. I just need to put the radiator coolant in. You know, the last step, reinstall the airbox, reinstall the filtration system. If you've worked on these Mercedes before, you always know that that's the last step that you've got to basically do, and then we can start the car and see how she goes. All in all, I think this job took about 20 hours, somewhere between 15 and 20 hours over 2 days. If you don't do any cleaning or anything like that, you probably can get the job done in 1 day, in about 10 hours. But I did do a lot of filming and cleaning and just checking bits and pieces, so it did take a bit longer.